I ain't drunk. I'm just drinking.
But you're so high.
Oh man, you know I ain't high.
But you're so high.
Yeah, well I just take a little sip every now and then.
But you're so high.
You ought to be ashamed of
Stay
yourself.
drunk all
Oh,
the
come
time.
on now, you all don't feel like that.
Hey kids, welcome back. What is shaking on this wonderful Wednesday evening? I had a special request from one of my friends who I didn't know. I mean, he's been in it for maybe a year or so, but he's not used to using real balance chargers. And he uses those old school ones that come with stuff that you just plug the balance lead of the battery into the charger and you hit it and it goes. And we were talking about chargers the other day and he goes, yeah, you know, how do you do that with parallel charging? How do you do this, that, whatever? This is not really a how-to on parallel charging or anything like that. This is just for beginners that want to get into getting a charger that can charge more batteries in one time. So I said I would do this for him. So bam, we're going to go over this first. This is your basic run-of-the-mill. These have been out forever. They're kind of like the go-to IMAX B6 AC V2. And this is what we call the standard 4-button charger. Okay, a lot of these, I have 3 or 4 chargers, and a lot of them use this 4-button type of gear here. So I'm going to show you on this one. I'm going to move on to another charger too. How these usually work. Let me grab a battery. Just grab a little 3S, whatever, 4S, 5S, whatever. This one's all beat to shit. Usually what they do is they come with a lead here that's an XT60 that you can plug into here, and then your balance port goes into one of these. All right. So in this case of this one, it's going to be a 4S. It's going to plug in there. 3S, 2S, 5 and 6. Pretty straightforward, no big deal. But what we're going to do, I'm going to go over parallel charging boards because that's what I use. And hang on, let me grab one. So if you take a parallel charging board, bam, like this. Okay, simple, 20 bucks. I'll put a link in the description. You can get these on Amazon. You can get these on Banggood, anywhere you want to go. A good friend of mine, Wes, bought a parallel charger off of some website. I can't remember who it was, and he ordered it, and it came, and it was that Joshua Bardwell one, and he literally called the company and says, I don't want this shit, I want a refund, I'll send it back, and the guy on the other end of the phone laughed at him and said, no, we'll refund you, but you can keep it, LOA. He was laughing, it's kind of funny. Anyway, don't spend a lot on a balance board, a parallel charger. Make sure you have a fuse in it. That's all you need, really. So you just plug it in. Bam. Positive and negative. Bam. This is not charger safety. This is none of that crap, so don't nobody go crazy about it. All right, so we'll go ahead and plug this in too. Little standard 3-prong doohickey here. Oops. Okay. Oh, cord's not long enough. There we go. Good enough. All right. So if we want to charge this, all we do is plug in the battery, plug in the balance connector, and that's it. We're going to go, there's Lipo Balance charge. I'm not going to go over how to use a charger. This is just how I do balance charging, all right? So there's a balance charger in balance mode, I'm sorry. So if you arrow over, you can go Lipo discharge. Never, ever, ever use that, ever. Okay, I'll zoom in a little bit. Lipo storage, that's what we use to put them in storage mode. So I would go enter, 1.3 amps. So if it's a 1300 milliamp, that's 1.3. A 2000 milliamps, a 2.0. A 1000 milliamp is a 1.0. 500 milliamps, 0.5. You get the idea. Hit enter. This is a 1300. And then this is a 4S. You can go 3S, 2S, 1S. All right. And then hold down start. Cell number incorrect. 4S, yeah. My balance board's a little goofed up. That's all right. These have been through the mill a few times. Oh well, you get the idea. That's how you would normally do it. Let's grab a different battery. There's some sticky shit going on. All right. Another piece of crap battery. Bam. All right. See if this one works. It might be the board, honestly. I haven't used this one in a while. There we go. It's a battery. Start. And there you go. And then this will draw it down to the storage charge that you need. So if we wanted to charge it, Lipo battery, enter. Fast charge, never used it. Don't use it. Storage, which we just went over. Discharge, never use it. Balance charge, that's what you always want with this. Now, if we're doing one battery, it's a 1300 milliamp, we're going to do 1.3. If we're doing two on our balance board, our parallel charging board, sorry. Okay, let's see if we can get it like this. If we were doing two 1300s, that would be 2600 amp, or 2.6. Okay, 2600 milliamp, and then 3, and then 4, and blah, 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 blah. So if I just want to do balance charge of this, we would go enter, 1.3, enter. It's a 4S, and if you try to select it as a 3S, it'll error out. Cell number incorrect, right? That's what we got on this battery. I might have a dud wire on this thing or something, I don't know. So anyway, we're going to go start, 4S, hold down start, bam, done. Now, we could plug in another one. Now, this is the battery that just didn't work. Let's see if it works. Some of my batteries have been through the ringer a couple times. There we go. So this one we're going to put at 2600 because it would be 2.6 amps, sorry. 2600 milliamp because your two batteries, 2.6 amps, 4S. Bam. There you go. And then if we add another one and another one and another one. Now, the trick to balance charging, if you will, or multi-battery charging, is use the same battery cell count. So if you have two 3S's, charge them at the same time. If you have two 4S's, you can't mix and match a 3 and a 4S. Bad things will happen. So don't ever do that. And you can read the manual on the rest of this stuff. But one of the things that I wanted to do is show you a different type of charger. Get rid of that. That's a mono charger. This is what I'm calling a stereo charger. This is a cheapie. It's not anything fancy, but you know what? I've never had a problem with it. I think I paid, shit, I can't even remember what I paid for this thing. Oh well, doesn't matter. You can actually run it off of a Lipo, which I didn't know until right now. Shows you how much I pay attention. You can put temperature sensors on them. Venom makes one just like this. I don't know if you can find, this is an Eachine. This is an Eachine Gemini 2100. Now, so in the case of this, let's get rid of that. And let's grab, oh, there's a fucking battery. How cool is that? All right. All right. I can use two balance boards off this. All right. So we plug them in, negative, negative, obviously, positive to positive. Now, it's kind of misleading. I think people overthink this type of charger. It really is just two chargers in one. They have separate brains, separate control circuit, separate everything, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. So what you guys just saw me do on the other one, oh, that's a bitch to see on here. All right, is exactly the same thing. So we'd go over to balance, 1 point whatever. Let's bring it down. 1.3, 4S, bam, hit go. Now, if we were doing two batteries on this side here, we'd put in 2600 and hit go. Now, notice that you have a channel button here. You hit channel and it switches over, sorry, this is a bitch to see. It switches over to this side. So I have literally taken, let me zoom out, I usually don't do more than 4 at a time. 4 4S battery 1300s over here and 4 4S 1300s over here. I charge 8 at the same time for 45 minutes. You know, that's about how long it usually takes. And bam, you're good. Now, the other thing you can do, if you want, I have another charger. I'm not going to show you. It's still a 4-button too, but it's a, I don't even know what brand it is. But I have an XT30 board that I charge my micro batteries with. And this one goes from 2S to 6S with an XT30. So if you guys are running micros with the little, you know, these little dudes here, with the XT30s, get one of these boards. Now, if you have a stereo charger like this, you could plug this board into this side, a normal board into this side, set them up and go. And realistically, I have extra chargers just because I've played with extra chargers in the past, but realistically, I could get away with just this one and charge 4 to crack here and 4 micros at a time or whatever you wanted to do. Balance boards are really, really cheap. Don't spend a lot for a balance board. Seriously, guys. I did have one that had a fuse on every single one. I think I gave it away to a guy in the club. But if you pay more than 20 bucks for this, you're probably paying too much. Honestly, it's not. They're just all wired in parallel. Nothing fancy there. Same thing goes for storage. I have different ways of doing my storage charging, and I get yelled at every time I do a video on it because I don't make sure they're within 1 volt of each other. I just plug them all in and balance them out into storage, and I've never in 3.5 years had a fucking problem. I've taken full batteries with half empty batteries, with empty, not totally empty, but with very low batteries, plug them all in, wait a second, let them bounce a little bit, plug it into storage. I have never, ever, ever had a problem. But just in case you do this. Put yourself a little smoke alarm above where your batteries charge, and there you go, okay? They're fucking batteries. They're not serial killers, okay? People bust my balls every time I do a battery video, so I don't do them. Well, that's not right. That's not how I do it. You should wait till they're 1.23 thousandths of a volt close together, and fuck that. Plug the fucking things in and balance them. It's not that difficult. But biggest rule to remember, if you've got any bare wires, obviously don't fuck around with those, and only do 3S at a time, only do 4S at a time, and you'll be fine. So get yourself a charger, even one of these, which I actually like this. A lot of people poo-poo these things because they're old school. You can pick these up for 25 bucks. But 25 bucks and a balance charger for another 10 or whatever they are off Amazon, and I'll probably just put a link from Amazon in there. You can charge 4 or 5 batteries at a time for 40 bucks and be totally fine. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is a great little deal. You can update the firmware or something in there. I'm not sure what that's for. I've never plugged it in. But, yeah, it's a battery charger. Fuck it. You know, it's not... I have 3 chargers, and they're all 4-button charger, basic. I don't spend $300 on a fucking charger. I'm not going to do it. That's just my take. So, stereo charger's cool, not necessary. You can get one of these. Stereo charger is usually 100 bucks. These are usually like, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks maybe. But if you get a parallel board, you can charge more than 1 battery at a time. Just depends. When I go out, I don't go out for 8 hours at a crack like a lot of these guys do. I'll go out for like an hour and a half. So I charge like 5 or 6 batteries and take them with me. So I don't need to charge 90 batteries the night before. I charge my shit up an hour before I go out and I go fly. So either way, hope this helps some of you guys out there that are just looking at chargers and just kind of wondering what the ins and outs are. But get a charger, get a balance, get a parallel charging board, bam, and go. If you have any questions, let me know. Take care, kids. Keep shining side up. Bye.
Bam, JJ! Hope you like fishing. Bam, JJ! Bam, JJ! Hope you like fishing.